This is going to be the first video out of several for this mini-series where we go about creating a basic CSGO cheat using OpenGL, GLFW, glue, and imgui. So the end result should be, I'm not entirely sure what features we're going to have done, but a very basic transparent window that overlays on top of our game that we can use to simply draw on. So for example, instead of doing something internally or externally where you write to the process memory and do something like create a glow, instead we're going to write a basic ESP that draws a box or a snapline or whatever simply on top of the screen. So we're not actually going to be writing to our game's memory at all, which for VAC, that is something that can kind of help reduce the possible detection of that's from my reading anyways. And same thing goes for, well, it just being a crappy anti-cheat in general. It's not really doing a good job. Anyways, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to want to compile GLFW from source. Now, GLFW is what we're going to use to basically make and kind of handle our window. So it's just going to kind of take care of the crap work for us. Now, the reason we're building it from source is currently we're on version 3.3. Well, the source build is on version 3.9. And 3.3 does not contain one of the window hints that we need, which is the mouse click-through. So for example, if we want to overlay a transparent window, if we were on version 3.3, we could not click through it, so we wouldn't be able to interact with our game. Whereas on 3.9, which is what this is on, we are able to. So if you're watching this at a later date and they already have 3.4 released, go ahead and just download the binaries that way. Don't bother downloading the source. You'll be good to go. So anyways, for those of us that have to download the source, you're going to go to the GitHub, make sure you're in the master branch, go ahead and download the zip. Once that is done, go ahead and open it on up. And I'm just going to drag it to my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete that folder and open it up. Okay, once you have it open, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder, call it build. Now, pretty much you're going to have cmake installed, at least if you're following along with this. So go ahead and download and install cmake like a normal program. If you want to ignore what I'm doing and just skip forward, if you scroll down a little bit in the Git, they'll have a compilation guide right here. Click that, kind of gives you the basics. So if you scroll up, it tells you to install cmake for Windows. Then it gives you a brief rundown on what you need to do. But we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and copy the directory for our master path. I'm going to go ahead and open up command prompt. You can just type cmd in there to bring it right on up. And what we want to do is if we head over here, well, I brought this up because normally it'll compile, at least for me anyways, for the 64-bit. We want to generate the project files, sorry, not compile, build the files that we need for 64-bit. We want to build them for 32. So what we're going to have to do is select the generator we need, which would be this guy right here. So inside of our command prompt, we can go ahead and follow that. So cmake g visual studio 16 2019. That's the version I'm on anyways. A win32, then -b, paste in your directory, do / build. So it'll force it, I'll put it in this folder right here that we just made, and press enter. Now, let's go ahead and let it run through its thing. Open up our build folder, and then open up the solution. So give that a moment. And previously, I did this a while ago. I think it auto-compiled for me. So like the second it fully loaded, it just started compiling. Okay, does not actually seem like it's doing that here, but the main thing is we're building for Win32. We're going to go ahead and just do build solution, and let it run. So I will be back when that is finished. Okay, it has completed, so we can close down command prompt, close down Visual Studio. And if we head over here, go to source, debug, we now have the .lib that we need for our linker. So let's go ahead and create our actual project. Now I've already made it, so I'm just going to open it, but basically it's just an empty project, so new project C++, empty project, you're good to go. Just do that. Let's see. Of course, you throw yourself in the wrong directory to start up with. Here we are. All right, so the only thing I've done is I've added a main.cpp, so just right click on source files, add new item, select .cpp, name it to main, and you're done. Add this main function. Again, this is not a programming tutorial. This is rudimentary stuff. You should know how to do this, obviously. Now we want to go ahead and set up our project, so that's done. So done and done. Now we want to include everything related to OpenGL and GLFW to get our project up and going. So there's also a example project. It might be in the documentation. Yes. So on the GLFW page, go to documentation. They have this example here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and we're just going to get that working for starters. So obviously, right from the get-go, there is a lot of issues. So the first thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is set up the include directories and everything we need for the linker. So we right-click on our solution, go to properties. We're going to start with our includes. So we're going to go C++, general, additional include directories, and this is where we want to set everything up. So where we just were, to find the include directories, we just go to the root, and we have this folder called include, then GLFW, and there's the two headers that we need. So inside of our actual project, we're going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to right click. I'm just going to actually copy this whole folder called include and just paste it in there because that's what I was going to call it anyways. Next up, I want to go back to build, source, debug, and we want this lib. So I'm going to create a new folder and just call it lib and copy and paste it in there like so. So now we have everything we need. Now we want to include this include directories path right up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the down arrow, edit, the little new line guy. I'm going to do money symbol, project directory inside of parentheses, then include. If I press enter, we can see the path. So let's go to our project. That's what this portion is for. imgui, and then our include. And that's what we want. So that's our path to our include directory. And as you can see, it just cleaned up all of the errors that we have. Now we have to do our linker. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and go to input, and under additional dependencies, we want to add OpenGL32.lib and do a semicolon. We also want to add this, so GLFW3.lib as well, and add a semicolon. Then go to general, additional library directories. Now we just want to include the .lib. So that way it knows that we're using it. Well, where to find it. So we're going to add a new line, same thing again, in parentheses, project dir for directory, lib. So make sure that that is correct with your lib folder. Press OK, hit apply, and go ahead and build your solution. So everything built, now press F5, and we should have a window that appears just like so. That's called Hello World. So we are good to go there. Now we're pretty much done for this video, but I want to refer back to the hints that I was talking about. So GLFW hints, window guide, and why did you lock up? Oh, there we go. Then we have, you can see a bunch of hints once I can find them. So we do GLFW window hint. So if you'll see currently, I have it right here. I try to click, nothing happens. It's still dominant. But if I do, again, you have to do this before you create the window. So GLFW window hint. And it's GLFW underscore mouse. I think it's called mouse click through or something along those lines. Let's see. I know it's something here. Let me find it real quick. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Okay, so I found it. It wasn't actually in that list because it's in the release notes for version 3.4, GLFW mouse underscore pass through. So mouse underscore pass through. Then we want the value, so GLFW underscore true, or you can literally just write true, either or. And let's run it. So now, as you can see, I'm going to try to click on it. It goes right to Visual Studio. My mouse goes right through it, so we're ignoring the inputs. Next up, what we can do is we can do glfw underscore, window hint, glfw underscore transparent frame buffer, true. And now, on top of that, we have a transparent window. So I can't actually drag and drop right now because I literally click right through it. But we have our transparent window right here that we can use as well. And eventually we're going to make it full screen, fit and everything. And same thing goes, we're going to actually make pretty much make it so you can't see the border, you can't see this title bar or anything like that. But we're off to a very good start. So we have the very, very bare bones basic stuff that we need to get us going. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off, and I'd say we are pretty much good to go. I'm going to comment out these lines first and do some small changes. For example, I absolutely hate when stuff is indexed with a lowercase letter. So that's just one of those little, sorry, just a little pet peeve there, kind of annoying. Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so I'd say we are done. So that's all for this video, and in the next video, we're going to probably going to go ahead and get imgui set up, because that can, long story short, that can be kind of a bit of a pain in the butt to do. So yeah, I will see you in the next video for this series. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description, where I have a dedicated team deathmatch tutorial for patrons only inside of Unreal Engine using strictly C++, a mixture of Blueprint, and we create the game mode alongside other features from the ground up. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord that's also linked down in the description below, and I'll try to help you out the best I can. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care.